Well, hello, fellas. Yeah, so it's not my thing, but I was trying it. Yeah, so we made a video on dynamic programming in the integer break question. The last video was about that. So I still have to explain about it, but before explaining in this video, let's try to see that what we are up to till now, and we are completed. So these are the completed questions that we have already done, and I also need to mark these questions, like what are the tags for these questions, so that I make sure that we cover all kinds of tags. So two-sum is so it's a hashing problem, and hashing is a very important topic. And number of islands was a DFS question, and the integer break was DP, but actually we can say that it was brute force implementation. Oh, I can't get the spelling right. So it was implementation, brute force, and intuition also. So like this, this is a tag invented by me. So there are many questions that we just go on with our intuition. Like this was a standard DFS kind of question, and this was a standard hashing question. But this I solved it with intuition because I did not solve this question before, and I got the intuition that to maximize the product value, we need to make the things equal. And then we were just left with decoding that modulus part, that we have some extra ones that we need to distribute uniformly among the different parts that we have divided the number into, the equal parts that we have divided the number into, which I will explain more obviously in the next video. But in this video, so in the next video, I will take up two questions. I will explain them both. But let's do one more question, which is again a standard question, and I saw it in the last video while I was searching for DP. So it is about robot paths, unique paths. Okay. So this is one more standard question that is uh, asked in the interviews many times, and this is a standard DP question. So unique paths, medium DP. Okay, let's read the question, and again I will state down my thinking process. But I already know this question, so I I wouldn't be like doing it for the first time, but I will share my thinking process. So robot is located at the top left corner of a m cross n grid. So this is a m cross n grid. M is the number of rows, n is the number of columns, and the robot can only move either down or right. So this is one good practice, that we keep on writing down the information that we are getting from the grid. So we have m cross n grid, and robot can only move right or down. So the robot is trying to reach the bottom right corner, and it is on the top left. It is on the top left initially, and it is trying to reach on the bottom right. And how many possible unique paths are there? So how many paths are there? And yeah, so for 3 comma 2 3 comma 2, the answer is 3. So it can go right, then down, or down down right, or down right down. Okay. So we can do this question by DP. uh, yeah, so we can do it by DP. Because why? Because we need to find the number of paths to reach. Let's say that dpij is the number of ways to reach position. This is the number of ways to reach position I comma j. Okay, so what are the number of ways to reach position I comma j? We know that we can come at the point I comma j either from a row which is above us, or from a column that is behind us. Why? Because the robot can either move right, so it must have come to this point I comma j from a point which uh, which was just behind it, the column just behind it, I comma j minus 1. So it must have come from the left side, because we can either go right or down. So when the robot was at this position, it must have taken a right step and come here. or if it was above this, it must have taken a down step or and come here. So it is dp I minus 1 j. So this is a very simple dp which is dependent on the previous two states. And yeah, so this is it. This is the simple uh, state handling that we need to do here. So in DP problems, always look for the type of state that you are representing with the array. So here the state is dpij, which is the number of ways to reach position I and j. Always try to write uh, the array definition of the DP in terms of these indexes, and always try to think that what does it denote. Here it denotes they are the number of ways to reach ij, and then try to think about it in terms of the previous DP states. So this is what DP is all about, like defining a state and defining a state transition. State and state transition, state and state transition. Okay, so remember that, and that is what DP is all about. And so here the number of rows is m and the number of columns is n, and we need to define. So first of all, we need to define the DP array. So what is DP? It is an array of arrays. So it is an array of array. So int of int, and let's say, well, I would like to flip this because we have n rows and m columns, because I always think like that. So yeah, so we have n rows. Now we need to allocate the memory to these n rows, to these n slices. So dp I is from I is equal to 0, I plus plus. Now dpi is again equal to a slice, so we need to allocate that memory. So as I said, this is Golang is like C, so in C you also do the same kind of thing using malloc and free, and I don't remember, but we use malloc for doing the same kind of thing, where we take some size of integer. First we take a pointer and then size of integer. So this actually returns a pointer, and it, like, make is only used for making channels, slices or maps in Golang. So here make will return a pointer, so this dp is actually a pointer to a slice of slices. And yeah, so we are individually doing, like, allocating this for each and every slice. So this is it, and let's make it as 1. So we are considering 1 based indexing. So now so what I said is that DP is all about the states and state transitions, but I missed one thing. It is also about base conditions. So always define your base conditions from which you will build up the whole DP array. So what is the base condition here? So the number of ways to reach position 1 comma 1 is 1, because we are already there, and the number of ways to reach 1 is 1, which is doing nothing. Do nothing and you are there. So that is the only way to reach the starting position, right? So yeah. Now for also we need to define, like, if we think about our 2D matrix, it is like this. So obviously we need to define this. This is 1, and these will all be 1, because the number of ways to reach everything in the first row is 1, like going really straight. Because if we go down at any point, we cannot come up again. Why? Because we can only go down or right. So there is no up move. So if we go right, we can only go, like, to reach here, we can only reach by one method, that is going right. And also to reach here, we can only reach by using one method, that is going down. And to reach this position, which is 2 comma 2, there are two ways. Why? Because we can either come from the up side or we can come from the left side. So, and similarly we can fill the whole array. So here, instead of doing this, let's say for I equals 1, I less than n plus 1, because we are taking total of n elements. For j equals 1, j m plus 1, j plus plus, dpi j is equal to 1 if uh, if I equals 1, like I shouted if. So if I is equal to 1, or if I is equal to j, sorry, if I is equal to 1 or j is equal to 1, then do this. Why? Because we are doing it for the very first row and the very first column. So if I is 1 or j is 1, then do this. So this is how we populated the whole array. And so okay, and now we can like write the same loop but for the rest of the array. From this time we need to start from 2. Why? Because 1 related things are already filled up. So the first row and first column is filled. Now we need to start from 2 comma 2. So 2 comma 2, 2 comma 3, 4, 5, then 3 comma 2, 3 comma 4, like that. So from from second row and second column we need to start, and so dpij is equal to dpi minus 1 j plus dpi j minus 1, which I stated here. We are either coming from the left side or from the upper side, and in the end return dpnm. So I think this should work. And there is something wrong because we did not specify for all the, like it should be n, like including n, not excluding it, because it is one based indexing and we have already assigned n plus 1 values. So that was a silly mistake, and it got accepted. So yeah, so this was the simple solution for this simple DB state, for this simple DB problem. And let's try to solve this variation also. Let's copy the code, because I have a feeling that we are going to use the same kind of code here. And where is the question? So the suggested question was this unique paths 2, and the only difference is that now we have obstacles also. So this is the obstacle grid. So the robot is located at the top of, and the constraints are also low, so no problem. And okay, so obstacle ij is 0 or 1. So if obstacle ij is 1, it means that we have obstacle as at that point, and if obstacle ij is 0, like here, we don't have an obstacle there. So it might be the case like that obstacle is at the destination also. If that is the case, then the robot cannot ever reach the destination, right? So it is kind of the same code, like we are coming from the top or we are coming from the left side, but the only difference is that we might have obstacles also. So this still holds, but first of all we need to correct this. Now what is happening is that we have, so suppose we have an obstacle at some point. So if obstacle grid ij, if we have an obstacle here is equal to 1, so what it means is that we cannot ever reach that position because we are not allowed to step on the obstacle, right? So dpij is marked as 0. So whatever progress we had, it would be nullified. For example, let's say when we are considering the very first row, let's say we have an obstacle at position where I've written x. So the number of ways to reach the first position is x. The number of ways to reach the second position is also x. Like this is a single row grid. So n is equal to 1, m is equal to 5, where m is the number of columns that I am using. So, and the number of ways to reach this is 0, 0, 0. Why? Because we have an obstacle here, so we cannot go around the obstacle, because from here our only option is to go downwards and we cannot ever come up again. So whenever we encounter an obstacle, so it will be 0, and yeah, so everything after that would be 0. So this would be actually zero, and yeah, so dpi, so actually this, instead of writing this, it should be better to write it as dpi j minus 1. Mark dpi 1 1 as 1, because if the robot is standing there, there is no obstacle there obviously. So dpi 1 1 is equal to 1, and if I equals 1 and j equals 1, continue. So just ignore this first thing, and after that just do this. Okay, so this is becoming too, like, there are too much of cases. So instead of writing all of this, let's try to simplify this. Let's try to write it for row 1. So for j equals 2, because db, the first column is already marked as 1. So db for j equal to 2, j less than m plus 1, j plus plus, dpi j is equal to dpi j minus 1, which is equal to 1, or if dp, if obstacle grid ij is equal to 1, that means that we have an obstacle here. So dpij is equal to 0. Now if one thing becomes 0, we cannot reach all the further positions. So if this becomes 0, everything after that becomes 0. So now this will automatically make the other dp values as 0, which is after the obstacle. So this is it. And similarly for column 1, we do the same thing. For I equals 2, I less than n plus 1, I plus plus, dpi j is equal to dpi minus 1j. We are coming from the upper row, and this condition would be totally same. So we marked the first row and first column, and now we need to mark from here. Now similarly here also this condition will hold, but again if this is an obstacle, if this is an obstacle, then we need to mark it as 0. For example, so this is for the first row, and now for the second row this would be 1, because we can come here, but this would be marked as 0. Why this would be 0? Because we cannot come here since it's an obstacle. But and so similarly this would be also marked as 0, because why 0? Because if we cannot come, like the position of this is 2 comma 3, second row and third column. Now if we cannot come to the first row and third column, how can we come here? And also if we cannot come to the second row second column, how can we come here? So there is no way to come here. Why? Because we couldn't have reached the previous row on the same column, and we couldn't have reached the previous column on the same row, so we cannot, there is no way to arrive here. So 0 0, so this condition holds, but if it's an obstacle, dpij is actually 0. So this is it, and I think this should work, but we have many things that are undefined. So n is actually simply length of obstacle grid. In the last question we had n and m, but here we don't have that, so we need to find it. And length of obstacle grid 0, m is the number of columns. Okay, so here actually I is fixed, we are at the first row. Since we are at the first row, and yeah, so I is 1, and here also j would be 1 since we are at the very first column. Now we have index out of range. Why index out of range? Because obviously obstacle ij is a 0 based index. So since this is a 0 based index and we are considering a 1 based index, it's better to like subtract 1 for the indexing of the obstacle grid. So it would be 1 minus 1, which is 0, and j minus 1. Similarly, this would be I minus 1 and 1 minus 1, and again here it would be I minus 1 and j minus 1. I think that is why we were getting this error, and this works, and let's try to submit it. And we have wrong answer. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, we did not consider the case when the robot is, when the first position is itself an obstacle. So, and it was not given in the question. They have only said that some obstacles are given. So I assumed by myself that since the robot is standing at the first position, there must not be any obstacle there. But actually there is an obstacle. There can be an obstacle at the very first position. So if obstacle grid 0 0 is equal to 1 is equal to 0, only then this would be the case. Like if there is no obstacle, only then we can do this, only then the robot can even stand there. And if this is equal to 1, then dpi11 would remain 0. And here in case of Golang, the default values are already present in the array, so actually all of dpij is 0, so we don't need to worry about any garbage value there. So yeah, it works. And let's again compile this and see that yeah, it runs, and let's try to submit it. And now this is accepted. So never assume anything by yourself, and always try to see that why things are wrong or right. Like always try to see why the things are what they are, and don't assume. So I just expanded the screen to see the whole code. So we just took the length here, and then this was the same question as before, but the only difference is, the only catch is that if we encounter an x, we make that dp value 0, and the subsequent dp values which were dependent on that also, like they are automatically 0, because if we cannot reach that position, we cannot reach the other positions also, like which are dependent on that position. So this was unique paths 2, and in the next video I will explain, uh, I think I explained unique paths 1 and unique paths 2 very clearly, but in the very next video I will take up 3 questions that I will explain on the board or on the tablet, that is integer break that I did in the last video, and unique paths 1 and unique paths 2. And I will explain them briefly because I already made very long videos while coding them and explaining them. So yeah, so thank you, and I will see you in the next video.